we will be discussing about the language programs and policies in multilingual societies, such as Singapore. But before anything else, I would like to give you a brief introduction about the country Singapore. The country in ASEAN which has privileged English the most is Singapore, a sovereign island city-state in maritime Southeast Asia, and said to be the second greatest population diversity in the world. The population of Singapore is diverse, the result of considerable past immigration. Chinese predominate, making up some 3/4 of the total. Malays are the next largest ethnic group, and Indians as the third. Because of this ethnic diversity, no fewer than 4 official languages are recognized, which includes English, Mandarin, Chinese, and Malay, wherein English plays the biggest role as the main medium for administration, commerce, industry, and is a primary language instruction in education.
Education system. Education is highly valued in Singapore, wherein it is managed and it is funded by the Ministry of Education, or the MOE, and its education system is elaborately structured. Singapore's education system has been consistently ranked as one of the highest in the world by the OECD, or the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is also believed that this comes from the style of teaching that is implemented in Singapore. Teachers focus on making students thoroughly move through the syllabus before moving on. By doing this, teachers in Singapore teach a much more narrow but deeper type of instruction. And also, every child in Singapore has the opportunity to undergo at least 10 years of basic education, wherein in this basic education has 3 levels: the primary education, the secondary education, and of course, the post-secondary education. The primary education serves children aged between 7 to 12 years, and followed by the secondary education by 4 to 6 years, and 1 to 3 years of post-secondary education. And here's the mission and vision. The mission, Singapore's education system, aims to bring out the best in every child by enabling students to discover their talents, realize their full potential, and develop a passion for a lifelong learning. And this is the vision. They seek to nurture the whole child and help them develop an enduring care of competencies, values, and character, to ensure that they have the capabilities and dispositions to thrive in the 21st century.
The social-political background of Singapore. Singapore is a small island state located at the tip of the Malay Peninsula. With a population of approximately 4.8 million, it is a young country of many races whose forebears are from Southeast Asia, China, India, and Europe. According to the 2000 census, the 4 main races in Singapore are the Chinese, the Malays, the Indians, and the others, which includes Eurasians and guest workers from the region as well as from English-speaking countries. When Singapore was founded by the British colonial administrator, Sir Stamford Raffles, in 1819, it was a fishing village with about 100 residents living on the island. However, the strategic location of Singapore as a trading port was recognized by Raffles, who leased it from the Sultan of Johor in 1819. It was later a part of the Straits Settlements collection of Malay states from 1867 to 1942, and soon rose from a humble village to great trading port. Heng also observes that many other races from other parts of Asia were, as a result, attracted to Singapore, which led to the formation of a multiracial society. In 1959, Singapore achieved self-government and was led by the People's Action Party, or PAP, under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew. Students in Singapore are required to master 2 official languages, that is, English and one of the ethnic mother tongues. In school, English is learned as a first language, while the ethnic mother tongue is learned as a second language. Education is a crucial concern for Singapore because, although it is a strategic location, it is very small and has no natural resources. In order to survive, Singapore needs foreign capital, technology and markets, and brain power to work within the economic system and to nurture future-ready Singaporeans. Policies are initiated to nurture students in order that the nation has future leaders to meet the challenges of an increasingly service and knowledge-based economy.
Down, yeah,
What is multilingual policy? The policy of promotion of multilingualism aims at measures that eliminate or at least reduce the factors that lead to language or language loss. It encourages the use of many languages in the private domain. It ensures that use of language in public domain is non-discriminatory. So what is the example of multilingualism? Using or having the ability to use several languages. The definition of multilingual is something or someone using many languages. An example of something multilingualism is meeting of the United Nations. An example of someone multilingualism is someone who speaks English, French, and Japanese. I will also share the benefits and effects of multilingualism. Improves memory. Studies have shown that people who speak multilingual or who speak multiple language have better attention, which has a positive impact on the memory skills of the person. Multiple languages multiplies perspectives. One of the benefits of being multilingual is that you can see the world in different ways. So now, what is the impact of multilingualism? Benefits of multilingualism practices in education include the creation and appreciation of cultural awareness and adds academic and educational value, enhances creativity, adjustment in society, and appreciation of local languages. Humans need an organized medium of communication in any given social setup. So we will now move on to the multilingual policy itself. As mentioned earlier, Singapore is a multilingual society where a multiplicity of languages is spoken. It explains that from the point of view of Singapore government, language diversity is a problematic in Singapore because linguistic identity is associated with ethnic and cultural identity. Language loyalty could lead to inter-ethnic conflict with the functional status or sentimental values of one's own ethnic languages are at stake. Language diversity weakens communicative integration and generally implies inefficiency in the management of economy and policy, which hinder the social, economic, and political development of the nation. As a result, language planning in Singapore is perceived as fulfilling the pragmatic needs of the nation. A policy of multilingualism was developed, resulting in the Republic of Singapore Independence Act of 1965, which decreed that Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, and English would be the 4 official languages of Singapore. This means that Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil are officially designated as the mother tongues of the Chinese, Malay, and Indian communities, respectively. For an individual, this means that regardless of what languages may actually have been spoken in early childhood, the ethnic group of child's father must determine which language is officially assigned as his or her mother tongue. It explains that the strategy of multilingualism has been the adoption of policy of equal treatment, which requires that the language of the different racial groups be formally given equivalent status. As a result, the entire population is officially constituted into 4 units of equal status, which is the Chinese, Malay, Indians, and others. The multilingual policy also entails reconceptualizing the internally heterogeneous communities as each definable in terms of one single language paired with one associated culture. On the other hand, the ethnic mother tongue was decreed by the government to give Singaporeans an anchor in their cultural traditions to avoid excessive westernization and to prevent deculturization. This viewed the policy of multiracialism as a method of counteracting charges of linguicism. Philipson, 1992, by Speakers of the Mother Tongue, the term linguicism refers to a situation where the imposition of English is equated to the imposition of the cultural, social, emotional, and linguistic norms of the dominating society onto the dominated society, thus maintaining an unequal allocation of power and resources. So now, why is Singapore multilingual? Singapore has always been a multilingual society, and the country has 4 official languages, which I told earlier, that's English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. Being trilingual in Singapore used to be the norm, but is now very rare. The changes in language use in Singapore are partly a result of government-led initiatives and globalization forces. Lastly, for my presentation or my report, I will share the effects of multilingualism in Singapore. Singapore is being known for its multiracial society as well as having a rojak of languages. There are 4 official languages again in Singapore, the English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. English is the lingua franca of Singapore, while Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil act as the mother tongue for the different ethnic groups. This paper will analyze the multilingualism situation in Singapore by focusing on the 3 main ethnic groups in Singapore, namely Chinese, Malays, and Indians. Multilingualism in this act refers to the ability to converse and write in 2 or more languages.
After discussing the multilingual policy of Singapore, we will now proceed to the bilingual policy of Singapore. Singapore is a multiracial country with diverse ethnic groups and culture. During British colonial rule, the local schools' medium of instructions was based on their mother tongue. That is, the language of their respective ethnic group. In 1965, the Singapore obtained full independence and there was a need for a lingua franca to facilitate communication among the different races and different dialect-speaking groups. Therefore, Singapore has adopted its Bilingual Education Policy in 1966. Under the policy, English, as one of the 4 official languages, is taught as the first language and is the main medium of instruction in schools. The other 3 official languages, which are the mother tongue languages of the major ethnic groups, have been taught as a second language in schools. All students are required to learn 1 MTL according to their ethnicity. Because of the pluralistic nature of society and to ensure the sustainability of the culture of the various ethnic groups. Despite being taught as a second language, Malay remains as the official national language of the country and it is the language of the indigenous inhabitants. The goal of English language teaching and learning in Singapore are to ensure that, first, all students can attain foundational skills, particularly in grammar, spelling, and basic pronunciation so that they can use English in everyday situation. Second one, the majority of students can attain a good level of competence in English speaking and writing for them to engage in various service industries. And last one, at least 20% of the students can attain higher degree of proficiency in English so as to maintain Singapore's edge in various professions. The language policy of Singapore aims to build residents' bilingual proficiency to sustain the nation's economic prosperity. The Singapore government has periodically reviewed its language curriculums to ensure that they are relevant to the latest local and global socio-economic developments and the needs of the students. The latest English and MTL language curriculums focus on teaching and learning the languages in real-life context, with the support of various teaching resources in order to engage and motivate students in the learning process. It is also observed that the English language and MTL curriculums have been designed to cater for students of different language background and learning abilities. MOE, which stands for Ministry of Education, aims at ensuring that all students, including the academically weaker students, are equipped with the foundation skills to use English and their MTLs in their daily life, while the more capable students are enabled to develop higher level of language competency. Besides, the Singapore government has put efforts to enhance teachers' training and development and cultivate a conducive language learning environment, which are important factors of effective language education. The bilingual policy also aims to promote better understanding amongst the three ethnic groups in line with the effort of nation building. Additionally, there was also the growing concern that Singapore was facing increasing Western influences, affecting a potential threat of the de-Asianization or deculturalization of the people. Due to the increasing importance of English as an international language, many Singaporeans have started to pay more attention to the learning of the English language and focus less on the learning of their own mother tongue. The bilingual policy was then enacted to safeguard Asian identities and values. Alongside English, the Singapore government aims to promote Mandarin Chinese, Malay, and Tamil so as to prevent the erosion of culture and heritage of the three ethnic groups.
I'm sure that you already have an idea on the socio-political background of Singapore, including their language policy. Before I tell you the similarities of Singapore and Philippines, let me share first the overview of Philippines and Singapore relations. Diplomatic relations were formally established between the Philippines and Singapore on May 16, 1969. The Philippines and Singapore are both founding members of ASEAN. Relations between the two countries have remained strong and vibrant through the years. The Philippines and Singapore also enjoy bilateral economic ties. In 2019, the Philippines and Singapore celebrated the 50th anniversary of the establishment of their diplomatic relations. 27 projects and events were successfully organized during the year-long celebration. This project showcased the breadth of the two countries' bilateral relations, spanning the political, economic, environment, academic, people-to-people exchanges, and cultural spheres. And now, I will tell you the similarities of Singapore and Philippines. First, the Philippines and Singapore are located in Southeast Asia. There is no doubt that there are some similarities like the most we have in our modernized time and the technology we're into. Second, both countries is not actually a real country. It is because Philippines is a group of islands and Singapore is known as a city or Lion City. Third, education is a crucial concern in both countries. Policies are initiated to nurture students in order that the nation has future leaders. Fourth, attention is also given to nurturing every student and stretching his or her talents and ability, whether this talent refers to the intellect, arts, or sports. Fifth, students in both countries are required to master two official languages. In Singapore, these two languages are English and one of the ethnic mother tongue, and in Philippines, these are English and Filipino. 6. Both countries are multilingual society. It is multilingual society because there are many languages are spoken. They are multi-ethnological country. And last, they have both bilingual education policy. In Singapore, each child should learn English and the mother tongue. They must learn English so that they will have a window to the knowledge, technology, and expertise of the modern world. They must know their mother tongue to enable them to understand what makes us what we are today. In Philippines, English and Filipino are both languages of education and official languages of literacy of the nation.
Meds, are you ready to learn the differences between the Singapore and Philippines in terms of language programs and policy? Say Yahoo if you do. Very good. Now, let's proceed. Singapore bilingual policy promotes the use of mother tongue as first language, while Philippines bilingual policy education states that English and Filipino are the official languages of education. In Singapore, English is the sole medium of instructions at all levels of education, which means that English language is the medium of instructions at primary levels up to tertiary levels of education. While in Philippines, Filipino or Tagalog language became the medium of instruction at the elementary levels. But in non-Tagalog areas, the vernacular languages or the mother tongue was used as the medium of instruction from grade 1 to grade 4, and in intermediate and high school level, both English and Filipino subjects are used as media. Say for example, here in Cagayan Valley, we have different dialects. Some are Ibanags, Iloco, or Itawes, which is used as medium of instruction at kindergarten up to grade 4 level. That's all. Again, it's me, Teacher Meds.